Bitcoin is a global decentralized organization. It's the first of its kind. It's a leaderless, CEO-less organization, and the individuals inside of that network are maximally sovereign or individually empowered. There's not an opportunity for political authorities to rise to power as much in a Bitcoinized world. If you're not treating me well, I can take my capital and leave. Increasing the individual will to power holds the symbolic structure of government in check. That, I would say, is kind of the core problem we have on the fiat standard, is that government doesn't care because it can paper over all of its losses by printing new money. And if you're not accountable, why do you care about the preferences of your customers? You can just steal. So this is the human problem right now. Pre-Bitcoin, we did not have a way to cast a credible vote of no confidence and say, this doesn't work for me, Uncle Sam. I'm going to do something different. And Bitcoin is an emergent alternative to the whole game.
There you have it from Robert Breedlove, and he's talking about how Bitcoin changes the game. Bitcoin gives people true self-sovereignty. It gives you the way to sort of escape if you need to. It's always good to have that back pocket play if you need an option to pivot your family, pivot your finances, or just pivot your life. And with that, what's happening, Crypto Crew? Sean's coming back at you. We're on the cryptocurrency video. Getting straight into it, taking a look at the Bitcoin price chart. What we're going to be looking at firstly is the price action. We're going to zoom in on the log chart, and this is on the weekly, so keep that in mind. So we see that Bitcoin has just been in this descending wedge, and we fell out of it and then came back up and hit our head, and guess what? Bitcoin blasted back up through this. So Bitcoin has just been in a downtrend since this peak here. This is $69,000 peak in November of 2021, and just steadily been trucking its way down, putting in higher lows, lower lows, and higher highs. Now look here, Bitcoin really hasn't changed its trend yet, because once again, the trend's your friend to the end. And if we just draw this out, we put in a high, then we put in a low. Now, could we put in another high here, a lower high, a lower low, and then come back down, and then ultimately put in a lower low? Could this low out happen for another 6 months? That's definitely a possibility of what we see in the charts for Bitcoin. As you see here, we've just been stair-stepping our way down. The trend hasn't changed. But one thing to note, looking at the RSI below, you see the RSI has had a bottoming out structure. At least that's what it seems. It seems that we came down and bottomed out back in July of 22. If you look at the price action here, this is sort of when we had that original Celsius debacle, a little bit of recovery, then the FTX dump, which happened. That could have been the bottom. But looking at the RSI once again, we've just been putting in a high, a lower high, a higher high. If we come down and put in a lower high, it looks like that trend's changing. So as you see, we've bounced off this not once, not twice, but 3 times now. And if we just extend this line out into the future, note the Bitcoin halving is around this time frame, March, April of 2024. This could just sort of stair step its way up over the next few years until Bitcoin ultimately has that next blow off top, probably going to be over that $100,000 threshold. But looking back in the RSI, you see Bitcoin does this every single time. This was after the 2017 peak. We bottomed out here in December of 2018, and then we sort of stair-stepped our way up. Right here, we actually broke through this trend line. This was the pandemic dump. We came back up, and then Bitcoin became oversold. If we look at the actual price action, at the peak of this, it wasn't the exact peak of the price, but shortly thereafter, Bitcoin did peak out and then had this odd reverse. We actually put in a lower high, faking everybody out to the upside, and then ultimately putting in the lows. Looking back at the RSI even farther, we can look back at the 2015 rally. We used this. Once we bottomed out, we stair-stepped our way all the way up, and we had a crash here that fell through. Now, if we look at where the Bitcoin price action was at this point, we weren't up to that 2017 peak yet. Right here, we were up to around the $700-800 level, and then right before the halving, we had a dump. The halving hadn't happened yet. Then we got right back above it, and then started to just stay in that oversold territory while stair-stepping our way up through 2017. So all in all, looking at the current price action, there's a good possibility that the bottom could be in. But once again, the next level to pay attention to as we broke through this downwards trend line, and this downwards trend was some resistance. as we hit our head on this once, twice, 3 times, fell all the way down, and we busted back up through it. The next downwards trend, if we came up to it today, is roughly around that $24,000 to $25,000 level. The longer we wait to retest this, the lower it gets. It could be around the 21.5K level. But time will definitely tell. We're not out the woods yet. Keep that in mind. Don't get overly bullish, but it still is a dollar cost averaging environment. You still can stack more sats in this downtrend, because if Bitcoin is having a round and bottom before it comes out of this and then blast up to the upside, this is all going to be an optimal buying opportunity. An update from Titans of Crypto, the bottom could be in. He's calling that too, because if you're looking at this indicator below here, every time the red crosses over the green, makes a peaking and then has a reversal, that is when the bottom was denoted and we went up and to the right. Every single time, up and to the right, up and to the right. And look what's happening right now, up and to the right. How high are we going to go? Nobody knows, but another indicator showing that Bitcoin's bottom could definitely be in. Another update from Titans of Crypto. As you see, every time we have this crossover period, which means the Williams on the 2-weekly time frame is showing the momentum switch. And every time this crossover happens, that's when we're up and to the right. Every single time the crossover, up and to the right. Every single time, it's just up and to the right. So this could be that rounding bottoming structure that we were telling you before we see that $100,000 plus Bitcoin price target in the years to come. And another update from Game of Trades. What he's saying, the US dollar is in big trouble. Death crosses on the 50-day, crossing the 200 daily moving average, has never ended well for the dollar. And what he's calling out here, every single time in past history, the red line crosses over the purple line, the 50 crosses over the 200, 50 is the red. Look what happens to the price of the dollar. Downtrend. Every single time, downtrend. Every single time, from a run up, a massive downtrend. So the dollar doesn't look too healthy right now. So with that being said, looking at the DXY, how is the DXY and Bitcoin correlated? We've told you this on the channel before. Let's just look at one time frame. We'll look from May of 2021 to September of 22, that 490-day window. Let's look at it on Bitcoin. Let's zoom out on the charts. May of 2021 to September of 22 is right here. So as you see, Bitcoin was in a reversal trend, a downtrend during this time frame. And going back into the DXY, over this time frame, the dollar was on an uptrend. So this is showing that the dollar could be extremely bearish. This is what Game of Trades is showing us right here as far as this crossover. If the dollar decreases in a drastic manner, if you look at these time frames, this is the 2020-2021 bull market. And right here in 2017, you see drastic downtrend. This whole year was the 2017 run up for Bitcoin going up to $20,000. Look right here. What could 2023 have in the cards for Bitcoin? Could it leak into 2024? It's a possibility, but all in all, if history's any indication of what the dollar's done every single time this is crossed over, bad for the dollar, but great for crypto. And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. You guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate the support. With that, that's all I have for you today, and I'm out.